like you said, looking at last year's, the story that was built in that one was really good.
Yeah, especially, I mean, I'm even thinking about it now. I'm like, it's like feeling my heart is swelling just thinking about it. Like, remember, didn't Rhea and Candice end up winning that match?
Mm-hmm.
Against all odds? Oh, it's incredible. How could you beat that?
Yeah, that was such a good one.
But alrighty.
So we move on to the next match. Now, I don't know how you felt, but I saw a lot of people, when they saw the two names, when they started building up for the two people that were going to be in this match, a lot of people were excited. Ciampa versus Timothy Thatcher.
Shut up and take my money. Take all my money.
Yeah, when I saw that they were building up Ciampa to be his next opponent,
yeah,
I saw that and I was like, you know what? I just already know this is gonna be brutal in a hard-hitting sense.
And you just watched 8 women nearly kill themselves with so many pieces of furniture and cage, you know what I mean? Cage parts. You think, God, that was ugly. And then you got these two going, hold our beards.
Yeah, and I think that was the crazy thing about this, was it was brutal without having any of, the extra stipulations, It was just
none.
Two guys going at each other, like, really rough,
Yep.
And at the same time, it was a really good technical match, which, you can always expect when Timothy Thatcher's in the match.
Absolutely. And, made all the better when you know that if anybody can hang with them, it's the former NXT champion, the greatest entertainer of all time.
Timothy. Oh my gosh, why did I say Timothy? Tommaso Ciampa.
Tommaso Ciampa.
But also, one thing we forgot to mention, and it was almost like a common theme for tonight that my dad brought up, was everyone was either bleeding or getting injured, or at least seeming hurt,
Well, that's a tough sport. But in this match, you're referring to the fact that Ciampa need Timothy Thatcher in the head so hard in an ear that's already all cauliflowered that it busted open and he started sweating blood. Yeah. It was such a wild sight.
Yeah, that was insane. And it was crazy because of how much there was. Usually, they usually kind of or I guess you could say a bit more cautionary with it,
Right.
If the first thing my mind goes to is Balor versus Joe at Dallas a couple years ago, how much there was so much ref stoppage in that match to make sure they would stop Joe bleeding. Yeah. Whereas, with this, it was like you saw the blood kind of like a bit of it on Ciampa's back. It was all over Thatcher himself. And you saw the ref put on the gloves, but you kind of have the sense that the two men said, step aside, we're going to fight through this.
Don't you dare. I'll make you bleed too. Joe, do you know anything about cauliflower ears?
I think my introduction to them was, I believe it was Bruno Sammartino.
Okay, yeah. I mean, just anybody who gets hit in the head enough, your ears just swell. So it's like a giant pus-filled bag of blood sitting on your side of your head, making it impossible for you to wear normal earbuds.
Yeah, I remember because I think I was watching at the time when Sammartino was inducted into the Hall of Fame, and that was the main thing was him talking about his matches were so brutal. He ended up kind of developing a lot of it.
Yeah. There's a cauliflower ear club, or at least there used to be, of just a bunch of veteran wrestlers who come every year and salute one of them. Jim Ross is a big proponent of them.
Yeah. But
any notable spots from this match, sir, besides that vicious knee?
I'm trying to think, but really what I just loved about it was, again, I forgot who said it, but when they were talking about the Walter Dragunov match, they were saying how the match seemed as if the two of them backstage just agreed to each other. Listen, we're gonna be real stiff with each other. That's what this match really seemed like to me too. Ciampa and Thatcher backstage looked at each other and said, we're gonna go into this match stiff, and we're not letting anyone stop us no matter how hard we're hitting each other.
Agreed. There was no punches pulled for this one. And you know what? You know it's funny too. They were just as tough and just as hard hitting as they were technical. There was so much mat work.
Yeah.
There was so much countering and trying to get the upper hand or control position.
Yeah, and the commentary team played it up too. I think it was Wade Barrett. He was saying when Ciampa tried taking Thatcher to the mat, and Thatcher was basically getting the better of him. He was saying, "Do you really want to take Thatcher in basically in a technical mat style? Because that's his specialty. It's like, do you really want to take him to his specialty? That kind of seems like you're putting yourself at a disadvantage."
Oh, for sure. But these are giant alpha male, machismo, everything. I'm gonna take you to your limit and at your own game.
But so that ending spot, I think, was also really good because every time I see Ciampa's rope hung DDT, it always amazes me just because of how hard he spikes them down. When Orton does it, he pulls them out. Whereas Ciampa, he doesn't even pull them out so that their legs so that they're hanging from their legs on the rope. He just pulls them in and straight downward you go.
Yeah, agreed. And I know what you're saying, Jack. Hey, Randy Orton, take notes. That's what you're saying, Jack. Hot fire you're spitting here, Jack. Calling out a former WWE champion like that.
Yeah, and then I think, it made sense as a finish, because seeing Thatcher, bleeding from that ear, it would make sense that, the head area would be his weakness at that point in the match, which I thought was really good.
Agreed.
Yeah, but so Ciampa picks up the win.
There's a little bit of storytelling happening after the match too, Jack. What'd you make of that?
It kind of told to me that either they're gonna try to continue, as if they're not finished,
right?
Or I don't. It makes me feel like they're gonna use it for Thatcher to improve. How, because what a lot of Thatcher does on NXT is they show him teaching sort of what is deemed the recruits.
Right.
He takes them to his wrestling school. I feel
right.
Kind of like when he lost to Kushida. And when he lost that triple threat, when he got what was it? He passed out to Loomis's hold. Both times he really used it to show how to improve. Which is one thing I like about Thatcher and the character building they do for him is the continuity.
Yeah.
He doesn't just take a loss and move on. When he does the wrestling school, he's telling the students this is where I messed up. This is how you. This is how you would counter that. This is how you would avoid that,
Yeah, I picked up on that too. I think that's really cool continuity. And what do you think? So when they were sharing glances, I almost thought, oh, they're gonna make a tag team out of these two. I could see Tommaso Ciampa joining that school as a teacher as well.
Yeah, and now that you say that, I really see it because the two are very similar. When Ciampa returned, and they've been playing up this entire time since Ciampa's return, he's been all about getting the locker room into a better shape, as they say. Fixing the locker room culture, and that's kind of what Thatcher's doing. Where he's teaching, the people that are playing his recruits, and the rookies. He's teaching them wrestling and putting them in their place.
Right. So, if we don't go that route, then I could see this story still continuing and perhaps Thatcher challenging him to a different kind of match.
Yeah.
One that isn't decided by a pinfall.
Yeah, I have an idea of where you're going. The fight pit?
Oh, shoot. I was just thinking a good old-fashioned submission match, but fight pit, let's go.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking at first,
Here we go, Jack. You go submission match, and we need a rubber match. We need to break the tie. It goes to the fight pit.
Yeah. See, now that you say that, here's what I want. I want them in the coming weeks to do a submission match between the two. And then just because it seems so perfect for the event, they build up for. Spoiler, they announced they're going to be doing a New Year's event called NXT New Year's Evil. That's when you do. That's when you do the fight pit, or if you truly want to, depending on the next date for your takeover event, you build it for that. But either way, ever since that fight pit against Matt Riddle, I've really been wanting to see Thatcher kind of make that his specialty and take someone to the fight pit again.
If you could, Jack, it's Tommaso Ciampa versus Timothy Thatcher in a fight pit, and they're gonna have another special referee. Who would you pick to be the special referee?
Ooh, See, if Shamrock wasn't with Impact right now, I think that would be an interesting choice since they brought out Kurt Angle for the last one. I think that would be a good one. Man, I'm trying to think.
You're trying to make this work too well. Be silly. Even Ken Shamrock is a silly pick.
Yeah, it's because I'm trying to think of like technical wrestlers as well, but like,
right.
I was also thinking maybe you make Regal, but the thing I love about Regal is, you know, him as general manager is you rarely see him.
Yes.
You know, and he comes out for when like they really need the general manager out there. But then again, I think that would also be a good warrant, you know, like if the submission match happens and Thatcher gets the win, and then like in the coming weeks, him and Ciampa are still going at it. I think that would be good enough reason for Regal to come out and say, you know what, I'll referee this. You two in the fight pit, no shenanigans, just straight up going at it.
Oh man, my vote would be Mark Henry, former Olympian.
Oh man,
why not?
That would be an interesting guest referee having Mark Henry there.
And like, just like Angle, hello, sir.
Hello.
Just like Angle, there's no build, there's no announcement. He's just there that night with a referee shirt. Hey, by the way, I'll take care of this, you guys.
Yeah.
How many minutes we got, Jack?
2.
Got it. So we're gonna go carry on into the next episode. What's our next match?
Cameron Grimes versus Dexter Lumis in a strap match.
Right on. I'm excited.
Yeah, so we'll close out here. Thank you for joining us for this episode. Tune in to the next.